It's day 9, believe it or not, of the para swimming competition of the Paris 2024 Paralympic Games. This is the Paris Stade de France arena in Nanterre, and we're ready for the preliminary session. There are only 4 sessions of swimming to come, 2 preliminaries and 2 final sessions, and there are only 30 gold medals yet to be contested. 15 of those will happen on day 9 of competition, but this is about qualifying for the finals to have a chance of earning gold, silver or bronze come the finals session. Glorious pool, it's 50 meters long, 25 meters wide, 10 lanes, 2.5 meters across, 8 of which are used in competition. And we will have competition across all 4 of these strokes in the pool: the backstroke, the breaststroke, the fly and the freestyle. Across a host of classes. This is para swimming, where swimmers are classified by their impairment. For physical disabilities, swimmers split into classes between 1 and 10, 1 being the most severe. Classes 11 to 13 are for visually impaired swimmers, and then class 14 for those who are intellectually impaired. We will have 2 events in the S14 classification today. One of the main differences between para sport and non-para swimming is the flexibility of the starting positions, which you will witness throughout this session, varying on the swimmer's impairment. They may be off the blocks, off a platform, they may be starting in the water as well. In this preliminary session on day 9, there are 29 heats in 14 events. The 8 fastest swimmers across each of the heats qualify for the finals to be swum later on the same day. Deb Gruen, multiple Paralympic Games medalist, is alongside me. And Deb, what are you most looking forward to?
A bunch of good events this morning. So men's 400 freeze, Taliesin Glock goes up against the Italian Antonio Fontine. Is China going to lock out the podium in the men's 50 fly, S5? Another good one should be, the women's 50 fly, where Marta Fernandez swims up 2 classes in this event, and she did medal in Tokyo.
Please welcome a French para-swimming legend.
Well, before we get into the para-swimming proper in this preliminary session, we're going to have the striking of the baton 3 times, a tradition that goes back to French theatre, where there'd be a striking of the baton to signal the start of the drama to unfold. Nadia Salih, now 60 years old, former Paralympic swimmer who won gold at the 1984 Los Angeles Games, has the honor. And now the session can begin.
The drama begins.
And there should be plenty of it this session. We begin with the heats of the men's 400-meter freestyle S6. There are 9 swimmers who go across the 2 heats. Anders Olsen's 4:47.75 still stands from 2009. He was champion in Beijing in 2008. The 4 swimmers who go in the first heat: Lorenzo Perez of Cuba, Brazil's Taliesin Glock, Luo Qinbiao of China, and David Felipe Rendon of Colombia. There's plenty of storylines in this event. In the second heat as well, where you'll feature all 3 of the Gutierrez brothers of Mexico. But the story is that of the reigning world champion, the Pan American Games champion, and the Tokyo champion Taliesin Glock, who goes in lane 4, but maybe not as the favorite in this event, despite this incredible collection of golds in this event. So for the final session, the competitors will be introduced individually for the heats. They make their way up from the call room to the pool deck as a group. Lorenzo Perez first out, Rendon last out. Rendon at 20 is the youngest in this heat, Perez at 38, the oldest. The London bronze medalist in this event. He was more of a 100-meter freestyler, Perez, the great Cuban. He missed out on the final here. Here's Taliesin Glock, the world champion and defending champion. He finished 4th in Rio in front of his home fans. 4 years later, though, in Tokyo, he would delight his fans who'd be watching on television, as no fans were able to attend Tokyo 2020. Here's Rendon, who goes in 6th. Doesn't usually swim the 400 free, does Rendon? Usually more of a sprinter as well, but did a 5:20 swim already over this distance this year. Luo Junbiao, 5th in Rio. The 30-year-old won silver at the Asian Para Games in 5:10. A more than competent time. He wears Jonathan on his swim cap. That is because his son is Jonathan. Jonathan is a non-para swimmer for Cuba. But Lorenzo Perez goes in 3 for Cuba. Glock gets away fairly well, so too does Luo. And this is the men's 400-meter freestyle is 6. So 8 lengths of the pool in this event. Glock, the favorite in this heat, certainly as the defending champion from Tokyo. But what a story, and how he's developed as a 400-meter freestyler. It's quite remarkable. Somebody who finished out of the medals in Rio when he was so hoping that he would win a medal in front of his home fans. And then in Tokyo, somewhat surprisingly, found himself in front with 100 meters to go, refused to lose, claimed gold exceptionally, and has since dominated the event. And he's leading by a very comfortable margin here in the opening stages of this 400 free.
There's only, let's see, 4 swimmers, and so there's only 9 swimmers total, which means that all that Glock and really anybody in the sea has to do is beat 1 swimmer. So I think they're going to take it pretty easy. This is a 400. That means it's 8 lengths of the pool. They don't want to expend too much energy because the real race is between Glock and Fontaine. Right now, Glock in heat 1, Fontaine in heat 2, so that's going to come during finals. So all Glock has to do, qualify first and not get disqualified, which is harder than you might imagine because there have been so many DQs during this meet so far.
You're right about that. The other thing is that the 100-meter freestyle events were swum on day 8 of competition for the S6s, and the 400s being swum on day 9 of competition. So back-to-back 2 big events where Glock and Fontaine are traditionally going head-to-head. Fontaine usually the better in the 100, Glock usually the better in the 400, but Fontaine has gone faster than Glock this year, or over the last year, I should say, which certainly sets it up for an intriguing final.
It does, and when you see Glock go against Fontaine, it's interesting because they're 2 very different swimmers. You see Glock pulling with that right side. Right now he's facing to the right, whereas Fontaine is entirely on his arms. So you see the matchup of the different types of impairments. And the reason this happens, of course, is that the classifications are based on a point system. So there's a bench test, a water test, and a competition test. And each classification corresponds to a range of points. And that inevitably leads to a range of impairments in each class. And that's what Glock and Fontaine are. They're 2 different points on this point system.
Glock hits the wall first at the 200-meter mark. He's well clear of Perez at the moment. 3rd is Luo, just ahead of Rendon. But with 9 across the 2 heats, you basically need to assure yourself of a place by not finishing last.
And Glock, he's now totally shut it down. He's on cruise control. He's out. Everything is going according to plan as we hit the second 100 of this 400 freestyle. And now the other swimmers, they're fairly bunched together. It does look like Perez has a lead, though, over the other 2 swimmers who are in 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, this is Taliesin Glock coming to the wall now, and he's after 37s, the last 2, he's swum 39, 38.8. So he is shutting it down. He's gone into training mode a little, and it's not going to be a particularly fast time.
No, but remember, Taliesin Glock did already have a disqualification during preliminary, so you know he's going, which of course got overturned during the finals, but you know he's going to be taking it easy and taking it very conservative. He's now, the stroke rate has really decreased. His kick isn't particularly strong. He's still almost 20 meters ahead of everyone else, so all he has to do right now is finish.
100 meters to go for Taliesin Glock, who hits the wall first in 3:44.61, so some way off his times as he completes another 39-second 50-meter. This is simply about qualifying. Perez still second. The great Cuban, the very first Cuban para swimmer to win a Paralympic Games gold medal when he won the 100-meter freestyle S6 gold in Rio. Luo Jimbiao is making a bit of a move. Just looking to extend his advantage over David Rendon. But Glock leading the way, coming up towards the wall at 3:50.
And Glock should not have any issues at all getting into that center lane. Paris still in second. Luo trying to beat Rendon just to make sure that he gets into the finals.
So Glock, 25 meters to go at the moment. About 20 meters ahead of Perez. Luo is closing a little on Perez behind Taliesin Glock, who's well out in front. And the defending champion from Tokyo is going to come to the wall just outside 5 minutes. A training swim effectively for him, a 5:02.41. Glock takes the heat. After silver in the 100, he is certainly eyeing gold in the 400. He wins heat 1. Perez touches and qualifies for the final, 5:17. Luo in a 5:20.90, and Rendon to the wall in 5:23.57. So the top 3 guaranteed places in the final. Not because of that positioning, but because there are only 9 across the heats. So comfortable for Glock, who's capable of going well below 5 minutes for this event.
And Glock led this race from start to finish. This is the first 50, and he's already about a body length ahead of everyone else, and he keeps his stroke so smooth and controlled. And what he did was he just shut it down. After about 200, he was so far ahead. He uses this right side, maximizes every single stroke, so efficient in the water. And there is, of course, an imbalance, so he stays on his side every single time that he strokes. Then he finishes. He's so far ahead of everyone else. He just went 5:02.41. And to give you a sense of how comfortable that was, his C time is 4:52, so 10 seconds off of his C time, getting ready for that matchup with Antonio Fontin, who, of course, was faster in the 100, but then, you know, Glock really owns the 400, so this should be a good matchup.
Glock takes heat 1. Heat 2 feature all 3 of the Gutierrez brothers, Tang Qian of People's Republic of China, and the 100-meter freestyle champion here in Paris, the Tokyo silver medalist Antonio Fontin, who goes in lane 4, the 3-time world champion. But he won silver behind Glock at the last World Championship. Tang Qian, in his only event at his first Paralympic Games, goes as the Asian Para Games champion in lane 5. And then the 3 Gutierrez brothers. Raul goes in 2, Jesus goes in 3, and Juan Jose goes in 6. Fontin starts in the water with the S6. So he'll lose something at the start, but he gains so much in his stroke, able to use both arms. Tang gets away really well. The Gutierrez brothers look to push the pace in the early stages. Watch out for the youngest of the Gutierrez brothers. Jesus has been having a good time of things in terms of swimming. Pan American Games bronze medalist Jesus, 5th at the last World Championships, but he's tended to finish ahead of his brothers in recent times. Raul, the 24-year-old, Juan Jose has just turned 23. Antonio Fontin is leading the way.
And you can see Antonio Fontin, as soon as he gets into his stroke, that's really where he takes off. One of the Gutierrez brothers, there's 3 of them in this heat.
Jesus second, yeah.
Trying to keep up with Antonio Fontin, who is clearly taking it very easy, very comfortable. He's entirely on his arms. So Gutierrez, every single time they turn, he's got the advantage on the wall because he's able to do a little bit of a fly kick. He bumps it up, he goes ahead of Fontin, and then Fontin takes it back with that stroke. Fontin, you can tell he's holding something back here for sure, trying to stay comfortable because he has a much bigger swim during the final. Here's the turn. Gutierrez, still underwater, pops up just ahead of Fontin as they go into the third 50.
He's still got the 100 backstroke to come, but he's got the 100 free gold that he so dearly wanted, and the battle in the 400 with Glock is set to be epic. So Fontin will be, you imagine, not expending too much energy in this 400-meter freestyle heat. The Gutierrez brothers, though, they actually, believe it or not, shared the 400-meter freestyle S6 podium at the 2023 World Series event in Tijuana in Mexico. Juan Jose finished first, Jesus second, and Raul third. At the moment, though, the middle brother, Juan Jose, looks to be a little off the pace. It's Jesus who finds himself second behind Fontin, and Raul third at the moment, just ahead of Tang Qian, the Asian Para Games champion, who was fourth at the last World Championships.
And you can see Fontin, he has this race totally in control. He's doing just what he needs to do to stay ahead of Gutierrez. Gutierrez, though, to his credit, is staying with Fontin. He's probably going to put up a good time for him because staying with a swimmer like Fontin forces you to go faster than you might otherwise would. Fontin doesn't really have a race right now. All he's trying to do is qualify. He's playing it really safe. He may or may not even qualify ahead of Glock, but that doesn't matter as long as the two of them are next to each other in the final.
It looks like he's going to be swimming a time well outside of 5 minutes here, and that is not unexpected for the three-time world champion.
No, and there's different strategies for prelims. You can either go comfortable and get yourself, save your energy, conserve it for finals. We saw Aurélie Rivard do a bit of that during day 8, during the 400 freestyle with the S10s. She for sure held something back and then exploded at night, and she used her wall so well. She ended up taking gold. On the other hand, there are some swimmers like Tim Hodge who do like to attack prelims, sometimes even set a world record. We saw Engel do that in the 100-meter breaststroke. So there's just a variety of ways that swimmers can approach prelims.
Tim Hodge is somebody who will go in this session. He's got fly racing to come in the S9 classification, but this is the S6 400-meter freestyle where Fontin still leads the way ahead of Jesus Gutierrez, the teenager, 17-year-old, who was on the podium at the Pan American Games. But Fontin was on the top tier of his continental championships. He won the European champs in 4:48. The second time he's done 4:48 over the last year, which is some time in this 400-meter freestyle. 100 meters to go now in.
There goes Fontin a little bit. He starts to lean into his stroke just a bit. Now he's going to take off, I think, from Gutierrez. Gutierrez, though, is still hanging in there and trying to fight back. This is the 400. That's the longest event that this class has, and the S6 is the first classification to swim the 400s. Everything below the 6s, they only swim the 200s. So this is the distance event for Paralympic swimming.
Tang Qian, in his only event at the Paralympic Games here in Paris, finds himself pushing as well in the closing 100. He's just gone ahead of Raul Gutierrez of Mexico. So he's just pushing the pace in the closing stages. Jesus Gutierrez is doing well to hold on to Fontin, who did quicken that last 50.
Yep, and Fontin has extended his lead to almost a body length. I think it'll be a body length by the end, but Fontin still keeping it extremely controlled. You see, he's entirely on his arms through this entire race. There's no legs to add into it here, right? Everything is driven with his upper body.
And Fontin, great catch. Drives to the wall in 5:13.05, takes it ahead of Jesus Gutierrez of Mexico. Raul Gutierrez is coming back at Tang and might touch third. Does. Hits the wall hard as Raul Gutierrez. Tang touches now fourth, and fifth will be Juan Jose Gutierrez. He touches in 5:31.98 and will not qualify for the final. Fontin takes heat 2, Glock having taken heat 1. That's your final showdown right there. But still several opportunities for medals in the pool for the swimmers who go in the 400 free S6 final later.
And you mentioned earlier that swimmers have a variety of starting positions, and you could see that in the start. Fontaine starts in the water. He's not able to go off of the block or push off of the block. He is able to do a flip turn, but doesn't get much off the walls here. You can see every time Gutierrez was able to come back at him on the turns. But what Fontaine does so well is his stroke. He drives entirely with his upper body. He keeps it controlled, and that's hard to do during a 400, 8 lengths of the pool. He touches first. Really, he doesn't even break a sweat during that swim. So now he's ready for his matchup with Block during finals.
So Fontaine takes heat 2, 5:13.05 ahead of 5:14.34, 5:22 for Raul Gutierrez. He's into the final. Two of the Gutierrez brothers are in, Jesus and Raul. Glock and Fontaine quickest to qualify. Lorenzo Perez, fourth fastest. Two Chinese swimmers as well advance. S5 action has been dominated by China at Paris 2024. Is that going to change? We have two heats in the men's 50 fly to come. The great Chung Tao's world record at 30.62, and how we thought those world records would stand for years. There is a swimmer who might very well take down that world record in this race. He goes in the second heat. Wang Liqiao and Yuan Weiyi go in lanes 4 and 5 in this first heat. Wang, the silver medalist from Tokyo, Yuan, the bronze medalist from Tokyo. This is one of the events that China swept in Tokyo. There is Yuan. Bronze at the last World Championships, bronze at the last Asian Para Games, a 6-time Paralympic Games medalist. Wang Liqiao, 30-year-old, sub-31 second swimmer. 2019 world champion, fourth in 2023, somewhat surprisingly, but did win gold at the Asian Para Games where he beat Guo Jincheng.
I don't think that's going to happen.
No, you suspect not in the final. Borns goes for Spain in 2, Hinata goes for Japan in 3, Yaroslav Semenenko goes for Ukraine in 6. He was fourth in Tokyo, just off the medals, and Alexandros Stylianos Lerios goes for Greece in 7, the 27-year-old who was 5th at the World Championships 2 years ago. That's Hinata Kaide, still a teenager. Silver at the 2022 World Championships, but 6th in Manchester last year. Finished as the first non-Chinese swimmer at the Asian Para Games, 4th. Behind the China 1-2-3, which in this race is expected come final time. But this is the heats. Wang and Yuan should get away quickly in lanes 4 and 5. So Borns, having started in the pool, will not get much from the start, but will build into his race. But it's the Chinese swimmers who are out in front at the moment. Wang just ahead of Yuan. Hinata is not too far behind, and Semenenko at the moment 4th through the opening 25.
Now, Wang Liqiao and Yuan Weiyi, both of them just doing the fly kick. They don't seem to be going all out, but they're always going a lot faster than they actually look right now. And they are so far ahead of everyone else. They had that powerful start, and here they are coming in 1-2 to the finish.
It's going to be Yuan ahead of Wang, and third is tight, but it's Hinata just ahead of Semenenko. Borns and Lerios touched nearly together, separated by only a few hundredths of a second, 5th and 6th. But Yuan Weiyi takes the first heat in a fairly comfortable 32.59.
Yeah, he did
That's
not.
taking it easy.
I think so. He didn't look to be going all out. Yuan Weiyi also, he added about a second from a sea time. Look at this start from Yuan Weiyi and Wang Liqiao right to his right. They just soar through. They stay underwater as much as possible, maximizing that. You saw Wang Liqiao took a breath there. Now they're coming in. Yuan Weiyi has the slight lead over Wang Liqiao, hits the touchpad with his head, both of them, and they finish in a comfortable 1-2, and they certainly will advance to finals.
32.59. Wang Liqiao with a 33.01. Bear in mind, they're both sub-31 swimmers. Hinata, 35.48. Semenenko, 35.55. That should see him into the final. Heat 2 features 6 competitors: Abbas Karimi, Tanaka Aigo, Samuel da Silva de Oliveira, Guo Jincheng, Siazbek Daliev of Kazakhstan, and neutral Paralympic athlete Dmitry Cherniev. There is Guo Jincheng. Day 8 of competition, he not only won 2 gold medals, he did both in world record time. Who can stop Guo Jincheng in this event? Abbas Karimi at the last games was competing for the refugee Paralympic team. Now competes for USA. There's Daliev, 5th in Tokyo, the 33-year-old from Kazakhstan. Won bronze 2 years ago at the World Championships. But Guo Jincheng, Asian Para Games silver behind Wang Liqiao. This has been his meet so far at his Paralympic Games debut. 5 medals, including the 50 free and relay golds. Cherniev starts in the water, but it's a glorious start for Guo Jincheng. Watch out for the man in lane 4, though, and his Paralympic Games debut as well. Samuel da Silva de Oliveira, he's the 2-time and reigning world champion in this event, the Pan American Games champion, but it's Guo who's leaving him behind through 25 meters. Tanaka is having a really good swim as well. He's got himself in 3rd, but Guo Jincheng maybe just off world record pace. That might be something he's aiming for come final time. He's got to power his way to the touchpad and touch first, well ahead of the Brazilian, who's the only swimmer arguably in this field who has the ability to upset a China sweep of the medals in this race come final time. Guo ahead of da Silva de Oliveira, and 3rd for Tanaka Aigo of Japan.
And Guo Jincheng is going to qualify first by over a second in just a 50. He's so much faster than everyone else. This is just 1 lap of the pool. And watch this start from Guo Jincheng. We saw him literally catch Leanne Smith during the last leg of the relay just on his start alone. And here he breathes once to the right. Look at this powerful butterfly kick. He keeps it up the entire way, slams into the touchpad with his head to go 31-33 and comfortably wins that heat. I do think that world record from Zheng Tao, we might see it go down tonight.
Guo Jincheng, ominously good time in the heat. Samuel da Silva de Oliveira, sub 33 seconds of 32.91. Will qualify 3rd quickest. China will aim for a sweep. 2 Japanese swimmers go in the final as well. Ukraine, Kazakhstan, and Brazil also represented in the final. 2 heats to come in the women's 50-meter butterfly S5. He Shengao, the world record holder, set in Hangzhou at the Asian Para Games last year. Lu Dong is the Paralympic Games record holder, not too far off. Lu Dong goes in the first of the 2 heats, the 32-year-old world champion. There's a massive roar, though, for Solène Sachet, who will go for France in lane 2. Angel Mayol-Dom of Philippines in 3. Semele Öztürk of Turkey in 5. Giulia Giretti goes for Italy in 6. And neutral Paralympic athlete Irina Deviatova goes in 7. This is Deviatova. Not in her strongest event. 50 fly. Giretti, now 30, former World Championship bronze medalist, 2nd at the European Championships. There's Semele Öztürk. Made her Paralympic debut as a 12-year-old for Turkey. 5th in Tokyo after 8th in Rio as that 12-year-old. Now 20, 3-time World Championships medalist. Sachet goes in 2 for France. But Lu Dong goes for China in lane 4. She's got an extraordinarily good start, the reigning world champion. She was off the podium, though, at the Asian Para Games and well off her times, but she's a 7-time champion and 9-time Paralympic Games medalist. She knows how to win at the Paralympic Games. She's the defending champion as well. Autumn of Philippines, 6th at the last World Championships, swimming alongside her idol in Lu Dong. Now, Ludong starting underwater generally give her a fairly sizable advantage over the remainder of the field. Ozturk has a really good underwater as well. So too does Otom of Philippines, who gets into a stroke at the moment. Is second behind Ludong. That was a really good underwater streamline from the Philippines 21-year-old, but Ludong has this race under control already.
She does, and you talked about her start and her underwater, which is true, but she actually had a very slow reaction time. And I do wonder if that's because of how long these swimmers were held on the block. As wonderful as this crowd is, it's hard to balance up there when they're making a ton of noise.
Ludong coming to the wall now, just outside 40 seconds, 40.5. It'll be Ozturk who touches second, and Otom is going to hold on for third, only just, and touches ahead of Giretti, who closes quicker. Coming to the wall now, Sachet will touch outside 50 seconds at 53.77, and Deviatova in 57.19. But 40.50 seconds, Ludong capable of going far quicker than that. That's sub 40-second swimmer regularly, but still a very solid time for qualifiers. Ozturk 44.70, the European champion.
And here's the start, and what you couldn't see there is that the starter held them in that position for so long because the crowd was making so much noise, and that is terribly difficult when you're up there. Then Ludong, she dives off. She has a not great reaction time, but her underwater is so powerful, and once she gets into her kick, there isn't another swimmer in this heat that can even come close to her.
So taking heat one, Ludong ahead of Seville Ozturk. Angel May Otom of Philippines, third, 46.85. To heat two we go. There are 7 competitors. Canada, Turkey, China, Spain and Brazil represented. 2 each from Spain and China. Well, I say that, but we have a medical withdrawal in lane 5. So Marta Fernandez is not going to swim, the Tokyo silver medalist.
That potentially opens up a medal too.
It does. It absolutely does. The silver medalist at Tokyo out, the former world champion. Cheng Jiao goes for China in 3, and He Shengao is the world record holder. She set the world record from finishing third in the 50 fly S6 in Hangzhou. So swimming a class up, but now swimming as an S5 in her class at the Paralympic Games. Getting away well is Boyachi, who goes for Turkey in lane 2, but Cheng Jiao is going to be well out in front, and He Shengao is controlling this race.
Right, and you can see the difference in the 2 Chinese swimmers. So He Shengao entirely on her legs, the same way we saw from the men, but watch coming from behind is Cheng Jiao. She's entirely on her arms. Towards the second half of this race is where the legs start to tire, the arms start to kick in, because she's able to pull more water with her upper body. And look at her running down He Shengao.
At the moment, it is a big chase on for Cheng, but she's going to run out of room. Her's going to hit the wall first in 43.11 ahead of Cheng Jiao, and Stephanie Rodriguez of Brazil, the Pan American Games champion, comes to the wall third ahead of Boyachi, who got off to that tremendous start, bronze medalist at the European Championships. Garcia goes to the wall fifth for Spain, and Ouellet for Canada into the wall at 56.87, but He Shengao 43.11 for the world record holder. This is Stephanie Rodriguez, 7th in Tokyo, 5th at the last World Championships. Won gold in her Continental Games last year in Santiago.
And there's He Shengao. He Shengao is the world record holder. She's capable of 39.32. So that heat was a lot slower than we saw in heat 1. Here's He Shengao with a very powerful underwater kick, and then you see Cheng Jiao, who has to play catch up this entire time. And you wonder, you know, in the 50, the legs are able to dominate because it's just one length of the pool. But if there were 2, if these swimmers were doing a 100, Cheng Jiao, I think, would be a lot closer to He Shengao.
Very impressive off the start. Chateau to the wall first. The official results have not yet been released for the race. As it stands, it is China 1-2, Chateau ahead of Chen Jiao, and Stephanie Rodriguez claiming third. So the official results, Chateau takes heat 2 ahead of Chen Jiao, Stephanie Rodriguez third, Boyachi fourth. It's a DNS for S3 swimmer Marta Fernandez of Spain. China have 3 in the top 4. Sibyle Öztürk and Sumaya Boyachi, both of Turkey, will make the final. Angel May Otom is in the final for Philippines. The flags come out because we have 2 heats in the men's 100-meter backstroke S10 to enjoy. Maxim Kripak remains the world record holder, the champion in Tokyo in 57.19. Now retired. Stefano Raimondi goes in lane 4 as the Tokyo silver medalist behind Kripak, who set that world record in Tokyo. The 2-time and reigning world champion. Raimondi will go as the favorite in this first heat. Santiago Sinestro of Argentina goes in 2. Bastakin of Netherlands in 3. Igor Nimchenko goes in lane 5 for Ukraine. And Portugal's Thomas Cordeiro goes in lane 6.
Raimondi is the only sub-60 swimmer in this heat, so he should be able to take this heat fairly comfortably.
Bear in mind, this is for swimmers with physical impairments, but swimmers in classes 1 to 10, 1 being the most severe, these are the swimmers with the least physical impairment in para-swimming. Cordeiro going in lane 6 for this heat. There is Raimondi. He was beaten by Olivier van der Voort in the finals at the European Championships, Raimondi, but he won the World Championships ahead of van der Voort. Another battle in prospect for a gold potentially. Nimchenko might be wanting to throw his name in the hat as well. He's quick. Bastakin, 4th at the European Championships, 5th in Tokyo. He's a 101 swimmer over this distance. But in the field there are 2 who are sub 60 seconds, and Raimondi is one of them. And the other goes in heat 2. Men's 100-meter backstroke S10 heats. Sinestro got off to a good start for Argentina. He's got a good underwater, but Raimondi's underwater is exceptional. Wonderful streamline from the Italian, who's come up half a body length in front of anybody else, ahead of Nimchenko, Takan and Sinestro. Already a little way back at the moment is Portuguese swimmer Cordeiro, but he might make up a little room in the stroke. Raimondi is leading. How hard will he go out?
I don't think he's going to go super hard. You can see he's already doesn't have the quick turnover that we're sometimes used to seeing from him. 29.55, he looks comfortable. What separates the Italian from the other swimmers is his underwaters. Look how deep he goes every single time, and he maximizes that underwater fly kick. Can't go past 15 meters. He's not really in danger of that, but looking good ahead of everyone else.
Raimondi is being caught by Tucken, but he won't mind. This is going to be a swim outside 60 seconds. The swimmers are coming back at him, but Raimondi is taking it easy. He'll still hit the wall first, though, in 1:02.34, ahead of Tucken and Nimchenko. Cordeiro 4th. And Sinestro touches now for Argentina, the man from Buenos Aires. Raimondi, a 1:02.34 ahead of Tucken, 1:03. 1:03 for Nimchenko as well.
There's Raimondi on the right with that blue cap, and look at this dive that he goes. He stays underwater for so long. Here he is flipping. Beautiful shot of this underwater kick, and that's what separates him from everyone else in this heat. Already by the time he comes up comfortably in the lead, despite a late charge from Bastakin, he swims to a 1:02.34, easily the quickest in this heat.
surprisingly quick despite how easy he was taking it. A 102.34. It's pretty good. Raimondi touches ahead of Tukin, ahead of Nimchenko. The second heat features 6 competitors. Canada, Australia, Netherlands, Italy, USA and Japan have competitors in the second heat. Elliott of Canada, Gallagher of Australia, Van der Voort of Netherlands, Menciotti of Italy, USA, Zeldemirdas and Minai of Japan. The Rio silver medalist, Olivier van der Voort, who took a 6-year break from para swimming. He's back. He won gold at the European Championships after winning silver at the last World Championships. Good start from Gallagher, 3-time Paralympic Games medalist in this event. 2 medals already in Paris, including gold in the 50 free here. Gallagher's gone out really quickly. Van der Voort is leading at the moment, but not by a commanding... I say that, and he's pulling away completely from Gallagher now. Menciotti is in third.
Right, I think if there's going to be a challenge to Raimondi, and it looks like there might be, 28-10, it's going to come from Van der Voort. But look at the Italian, they're underwater for Menciotti. He stays under for so long, maximizing that underwater kick, which of course is the fastest that you can go in the water. But the Dutch swimmer, you have to hand it to him. He's going out during prelims.
Yeah, he's getting any bugs out of his swimming in this heat, undoubtedly. Olivier van der Voort of Netherlands touched in 28.10, significantly quicker than Raimondi. He's going to go sub 60 seconds in the heat as well, at 58.34. That is a marker laid down. Second, though, will be Menciotti, just ahead of Gallagher, maybe owing to that turn. Elliott touches 5th for Canada, just behind Minai Akito of Japan and Zeldemirdas of USA, 104.58. 6th. So that means Zeldemirdas will miss out on the final, but Elliott with a 104 is going to be in for Canada.
Van der Voort did not get off to the best start here. You can see he dives backwards, but the person who had the best start is really Menciotti, who stays underwater. Those Italians know how to do the underwater. And then Van der Voort comes up. By this time, he's already over a body length ahead. He went out fast, and he continued to stay fast. He went 58.34, which is faster. It's certainly faster than Raimondi's Tokyo times. It's also faster than the world champ winning times that Raimondi has put up. So finally, a major race into the 100-meter backstroke for the S10s. That is not between Raimondi and Kripak.
Well, you say the Italians know how to do the underwaters. The Dutch know how to do the backstroke. Van der Voort and Menciotti are the top 2. Gallagher touches 3rd. Minai Akito. Elliott will get into the final with that 104, this being the faster heat. So only 3 from the first heat qualify. Among them is Raimondi, but 2 Dutch and 2 Italian swimmers, the 4 fastest to qualify. Gallagher might challenge for a podium place. Nimchenko's in the final as well. 2 heats to come in the women's 100-meter backstroke S10. 14 competitors go across the 2 heats. Now, the great Summer Mortimer, who only appeared at 1 Paralympic Games in 2012, where she won 4 medals. Still the Paralympic Games record holder when she was competing for Canada. She was later representing Netherlands, where she broke the world record. That still stands. 7 competitors go, 2 from Canada, Hunsaker and Cosgrove. France's Emily Pierre will go in lane 3, so expect a roar. Somebody who's already won gold in Paris in the 100-meter freestyle S10. Carl of Estonia, Zhang Meng of China, Francis Pierre, Katie Cosgrove of Canada going in 4, Lisa Kricher of Netherlands goes in 5, China's Chen Yi goes in 6, and Ariana Hunsaker of Canada goes in lane 7. There is Pierre. 2017 World Championship bronze medalist. She was 4th in Manchester last year. There's Hunsaker. Ariana Hunsaker. Ari to most, though. Cosgrove is quick in the backstroke. And the 18-year-old, already with 100 fly bronze medal at her debut Paralympic Games, will be challenging for medals in the fly, you suspect. She was just off the podium in Manchester with a 108. She touched 4th in the fly, and then in the backstroke was 5th in a 111. But she's gone 108 since then. Krieger will always be competitive, and she goes in 5, the Tokyo bronze medalist alongside Cosgrove. Pierre goes in 3. 2 from China, Cheng Meng and Chen Yi. Chen Yi having won the Asian Para Games gold in a 110. Seven competitors. This is the first heat of 2. It's about posting times quick enough to qualify for the final.
Take your marks.
Pierre gets away well, so too does Krieger of Netherlands, who goes in 5. Cosgrove, though, how good is her underwater? She comes up fairly early. It's Pierre who is leading, though. And Chen Yi off to a really good start, the 5-time Paralympic Games medalist. And already 50-meter freestyle gold medalist here, but the top 4 are pulling away. Hansik is just a little back in 5th, but Pierre, Cosgrove, Krieger and Chen, not much separates them, although Cosgrove starts to come into her own.
Yeah, but look at Krieger. So far, Krieger not having the best meet. Still right up there with Cosgrove. They're separated by 0.4 of a second, so very close. Cosgrove with the slight lead.
The top 3 are pulling away now. Pierre has joined Cosgrove and Krieger after an excellent turn, but will likely fall away in the closing 50 meters. 25 meters to go. Has Krieger got the strength to hold on? It is Cosgrove who's pulling away from Pierre, but not by much. She's remarkably holding on here. The former gymnast who broke her arm quite severely, falling off the balance beam in years gone by. Already a champion in Paris. She's really taking the race, but it's going to be Cosgrove ahead of Pierre. Krieger will touch 3rd. Chen Yi is 4th. Hunsiker touches now 5th in a 1:15, but 1:10.24 wins it for Cosgrove. A 1:08 swimmer. Pierre will take that. That's about the quickest she's gone this year. A 1:10.36. Not too far off her best. Krieger with that tattoo, the Japanese character for water, tattooed on her back, on her neck.
Krieger's got a great start. Cosgrove did not have the best of start. She popped up fairly early, but once she got into her stroke, that's where she started to come in. Krieger, Pierre, Cosgrove, though, very close throughout the entire 100. Cosgrove just touching about a 10th ahead of Pierre, who had a good swim for her. She went close to her sea time. Cosgrove was a ways off, and Krieger also a little bit off. So a comfortable swim for all 3 of them, who should advance.
Pierre's really good at the turns, but I expected her in the stroke to fall a little behind Cosgrove, and she was able to match her almost stroke for stroke in the
Pierre,
closing 50, which
I mean, the crowd for Pierre just is remarkable.
That's a really solid swim. The top 3 all with 1:10s, 1:24, 1:36 and 79. Second heat features another Canadian in Aurélie Rivard and another French swimmer in Anaëlle Roulet. But Bianca Papp is the 3-time and reigning world champion. She's the defending champion from Tokyo and goes in 4 for Hungary. The European champion as well. 6-time Paralympic Games medalist Bianca Papp, who already has bronze in Paris after a 400 free swim. Looking to add to Hungary's gold medal tally in this final, but she needs to qualify first. How will she go about her qualification? Ali Truitt of USA is alongside her. 400-meter freestyle silver here already for the 24-year-old. Going out really strong is Rivard, who won the 400-meter freestyle gold medal, but straight into a stroke. Jasmine Greenwood looks to be making up ground on Papp now.
Yep, Papp out ahead. This is exactly what we would have expected. She's the gold medalist from Tokyo. But watch Ali Truitt as she gets into her stroke, making a huge move on Bianca Papp right now. She's not going to have the advantage on the turn, but her stroke rate is so much faster.
That's incredibly impressive. She just blew past Greenwood of Australia. Greenwood does touch third. It's Papp ahead of Truett, ahead of Greenwood through the opening 50. Off the turn, Rivard gets something in Roulet as well, who made the London, Rio and Tokyo finals. Can she make a fourth successive finals? It's Papp who's leading with 25 meters to go.
She is, but watch out for Ali Truett as she gets into her stroke. Her stroke rate is so much quicker. She loses a bit on the walls every single time. Bianca Papp looks like she's just going to be able to hold her off, but Bianca Papp is not swimming a little bit into the lane.
Papp comes to the wall now in 1:08.60, so it's the quickest of the heats. Truett second ahead of Roulet. Rivard touches fourth. Greenwood fifth. But that is a 1:08.60, very comfortably the quickest qualifier, ahead of Ali Truett, who swam 1:09.57, a good sub-1:10 swim. And the next four, all 1:10 swimmers, will advance to the final. A 1:12 won't get you in.
That heat was a lot faster than heat one. Bianca Papp won this heat. She led it from start to finish. She got a great underwater. Ali Truett, though, with that massive stroke rate, you can see Ali Truett struggles on the walls next to someone like Bianca Papp, who has the advantage because of the differences in impairments. Bianca Papp able to keep that slight lead, but Ali Truett is going to be difficult to beat in finals.
Very impressive from Truett. You're right about that incredibly impressive stroke rate of hers, but Papp still commanding. 1:08.60, sub-1:10 is Ali Truett at her first Paralympic Games. Roulet qualifies for a fourth consecutive time in this final. These are the eight to advance. Greenwood, Truett, Papp, Krieger, the two from France and two from Canada in the final as well. Two heats to come in the men's 100-meter butterfly S9. Will Martin, the world record holder, on his way to gold in Tokyo, 57.19.
But Will Martin's been classed up now, so he's not in this heat.
Timothy Hodge is having a fantastic time in Paris. He's one of two Australians to go. Tim Hodge goes in four, having won gold in the 200 IM. But Brendan Hall is another who goes, and might this be the last time we see the great Brendan Hall? This is his third and final event in Paris, the three-time Paralympic Games champion, largely known for his 400-meter freestyle, an event he took bronze in here in Paris, but he'll go in seven. Denayer goes for France in one. He's a two-time medalist in Paris already. Breaststroke silver. IM bronze. There is Brendan Hall, 31-year-old, seven-time medalist, three-time champion. And there is Denayer. They go in the wide lanes, Hall and Denayer. Hodge, though, goes in the center lane, the Tokyo bronze medalists. Bronze at the last three World Championships, but won Commonwealth Games gold in Birmingham 2 years ago. China's Xie Zhili goes in two. Barry McClements of Ireland goes in arguably his best event as well. He'll be in lane three, fifth at the last two World Championships, but good solid third at the European Championships. Chalcano in five, and Jose Marie goes for Spain in six. Now, if there's a swimmer who's really been swimming on his times, there's McClements, who goes for Ireland in three. Anything below 1:01, 1:02, McClements should be happy with, but sub-60-second swimmer is Hodge. He's been on his times in Paris. A couple of golds already, including the IM title. Great reaction time from Denayer, who gets an enormous roar as he gets into the pool and into his stroke as well. He starred in his 50 fly in the first leg of the 200 IM, where he swam to bronze, but at the moment it's being controlled by Chalcano alongside Hodge.
And I love the way Chalcano and Hodge just attack prelims. They never coast it. They go out every single time hard. Chalcano touching first by about 2 seconds over Hodge. Watch the turn though. Hodge with a great underwater. He maximizes that impairment. He's starting to come up on Chalcano. Can Hodge take over the lead?
Well, half a second separating the top four at the 50. Shear's just fallen a little way back of McClements, who's currently in third. Hodge and Chalcano are battling for top spot in this first heat. It's a wonderful battle here in the 100 fly S9 first heat, but Hodge is going to take it in the closing meters. He pulls away. Will McClements hold on for third? He's almost between strokes, but manages to hit the wall third. Hodge ahead of Chalcano with McClements third. So 1 minute, 0.61 seconds for Hodge. Chalcano and McClements, as well as Shear, swim 101s. A time that should take all four of them with Hodge into the final.
And here's the two swimmers, Chalcano and Hodge right next to each other during the prelims. Chalcano out with that early lead. But watch this turn from Timothy Hodge. Then he pops up. The two of them are shoulder to shoulder, and Hodge, the better closer here. So he closed in 1:00:61. Chalcano 1:01:51, a little less than a second. And you can see Hodge with that nice lead, puts his head down. That was a great finish by Hodge there. Always attacks his prelim swims. He never coasts it.
Certainly makes for exciting viewing when Hodge is in the pool. He's taken the first heat in 1 minute, 0.61 seconds ahead of Chalcano, McClements and Shear, who all swim 101s. Denayer with a 102. Star list for Heat 2 features 8 competitors, including 3 Italians, Ciuli, Morlacchi and Barlam, who is the Tokyo silver medalist. Morlacchi, the bronze medalist from London, the Rio silver medalist. But Barlam goes as the 3-time and reigning world champion, the reigning European champion. It was Garrido of Spain you saw for a moment, who goes in 1. Grigorovic of Poland in 7, Kirchner of Czechia in 6. Lewis Bishop is 19, he's in his only event in Paris. He goes in lane 6. Malte Braunschweig of Germany, whose older brother Ole is an Olympian. Great start from Morlacchi. Barlam not off to the best start, but his underwater is usually fantastic, and it's no different here once he's into his stroke. Braunschweig broke the water in front, but already Barlam is looking very solid in his stroke. How easy will he take it? Well, he knows the winning time of Hodge in the first heat is just outside 60 seconds. Will he be looking to go quicker and claim this heat in a faster time?
So Barlam out pretty quick, 27.58, comfortably leading the field here. Now he just has to make sure that he doesn't get run down. Barlam, you can see, he breathes to his right. So going down, he can see half the swimmers, and on the way back, he can see the other half. And now all he has to do is not give up that lead at all.
Italy might finish 1-2 here as Morlacchi comes back at Braunschweig of Germany. Lewis Bishop is making a charge, and he too is looking to pass the German, but it is going to be the Italian Barlam who comes to the wall now just outside 60 seconds, but will qualify quickest and have lane 4 for the final. Simone Barlam ahead of Bishop, ahead of Morlacchi, ahead of Braunschweig. The quicker heat. What that means, though, is that Braunschweig, I think, has just got in, but the Denayer, who finished 5th in the first heat, is not going to qualify for the final with his 102. Ciuli will not qualify for the final either. And we touched in 105. Barlam takes it just outside 60 seconds ahead of Bishop of Australia.
And you can see Barlam, his starts aren't the strongest, but once he pops up and he gets into his stroke, his wingspan is so great. And then he pops up, he's so fast. You can see he breathes to one side, so he can see half the swimmers going down and then the other half going back. He gets out into that early lead, and he never gave it up. And he went a great swim. You know, I wonder if the swim from Timothy Hodge motivated Barlam a little bit, because he doesn't always swim super fast during prelims, but when you see someone go 1:00:61 during Heat 1, you know you got to turn it on a little bit.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. Barlam sometimes even wins his races swimming from lane 1 or 8 because he takes it so easy in the qualifiers. 3 Italians, they finish 1, 3 and 8 in the second heat. Quickest to qualify is Barlam ahead of Bishop of Australia. So making the final, that means Denayer misses out for France. Braunschweig is in. McClements is there for Ireland. Shi of China as well, but Barlam, quickest qualifier. 2 heats to come in the women's 100-meter butterfly S9. Great Sophie Pascoe still holds the world record at 1:02.48. If the Paralympic Games record could be challenged, something might be on for Konkoy, who holds the Paralympic Games record. She comes in as defending champion. She won bronze in Rio, she won gold in Tokyo, and goes alongside Lizzie Smith, who won silver in Tokyo. And the Rio gold medalist Xu Jialing goes in lane 5. Mary Jibb of Canada goes in 6, and Chiara Godoy of Chile goes in 2. But that's Smith who goes in 3, the 2019 World Championship bronze medalist. How to motivate yourself. Chiara Godoy is having a few big slaps. Konkoy, the defending champion, world champion in 2022, but silver medalist last year in Manchester. She won the European Championships though. 200 IM and 400 free gold already for Konkoy. And Paris 2024. Godoy, Smith, Konkoy, Xu and Jibb, who made the 100 back and 200 IM finals at her Paralympic Games debut. An excellent fly stroker, certainly over the opening 50. Can she hold it over 100?
Take your marks.
Good reaction times from all the starters. Women's 100-meter butterfly S9 heats are underway. This is heat 1, and Lizzie Smith is leading the way for USA from lane 3. Looks like Mary Jibb is looking to match pace, but once she gets into a stroke, Konkoy will be tough to beat.
Right, Lizzie Smith had that beautiful underwater, got out to the early lead, but Sophia Konkoly is having like the meat of her life. She wins the 400 freestyle against Lucky Patterson, who is the heavy favorite from Australia. She wins the 200-meter individual medley, so we know she's got a good fly. And look at Konkoly coming back now during the second 50.
This is where she should come into her own against Smith. Mary Jibb is battling against Xu Jialing for third at the moment. This is a heat, so still about posting qualifying times rather than finishing positions in the pool. Your positions effectively will determine your lane draws as well with the times that you post. But it's going to be very comfortable for Konkoy ahead of Smith and Xu, who are very close together for second. Is it going to be Smith? Yes, just from Xu. They both swim 1:10s, but 1:07.80 for Konkoy. That was fairly comfortable. There's only really one swimmer in the field that can match that kind of time. Konkoy with a 1:07.80 takes heat 1. So Xu Jialing, the Rio champion, finishing third. But Konkoy, in her second 50, really brought it home.
She did, and Konkoly did not have the best start of anyone in this field. Lizzie Smith went out from the United States, went out to that early lead, but Konkoly had this very strong back half, and she went 1:07.8, which is only about half a second slower than her sea time. So that was a good swim for her. The other swimmers a little bit more off her times, but Konkoly, as I said earlier, is having a tremendous games.
Konkoy in the stroke, into the touchpad, takes heat 1. A 1:07. She's a 1:06 low swimmer at her best. Konkoy, 1:07.80, takes it from Lizzie Smith, and the world champion Xu Jialing. Mary Jibb will be watching heat 2. 6 swimmers to go. Liu, Bulcher, Raleigh Crossley, Beecroft, Dimitriev and Arias of Uruguay. Uruguay's only swimmer at Paris 2024.
Your marks.
Beecroft gets away well, seeking her first individual Paralympic Games medals in this event. She will be after a series of relay medals, but Riley Crossley, in a Paralympic Games debut, has already picked up 50 free S10 silver, 100 meter free silver in the S9s, and 100 back gold in Paris. This is an event she'll be seeking a fourth Paralympic Games medal in, and she's dominant through the opening 50.
She is. I think Riley Crossley is going to be the one to beat here. She's out in 30.72. You see right arm up, left to the side. That's how she pushes off. She maximizes the legs here. Now we're into the second 50. She's breathing every stroke, which is a little bit different than some of the other swimmers, but she looks very comfortable out ahead, about a body length ahead.
Bulcher's got a strong close, but I think she's got too much room to try to make up on Riley Crossley, who looks to bring it home in the heat. Third is Emily Beecroft at the moment, 108 swimmer. And she's challenging Bulcher as well in the closing stages. Good finish from Beecroft, but Riley Crossley in 106.78. Just outside Paralympic Games record, will qualify quickest for the final. Bulcher touches second ahead of Beecroft. Liu fourth, and Dimitriev is fifth. There's Hannah Arias and Liu Ying make their way to the wall. Liu Ying in a 112. Hannah Arias of Uruguay in 128.32. Takes a little of her seed time. There's Beecroft of Australia, third in 108.88, 400ths of a second behind Bulcher. And Riley Crossley in a 106.78 by over 2 seconds takes heat 2.
You can see Riley Crossley, she uses that towel on the block to make sure that she doesn't slip. She's already well out ahead during the first 50. Here's the push-off, right arm up, left to the side, and then she gets into her stroke, and she continues to breathe every stroke. Now, she went 106 low, 106.78, which is just off of her seed time, and the only other swimmer I would say that's capable of going at time like that is Sophia Konkoly, who has the Paralympic record. So Konkoly is going to have to, Konkoly's really going to have to go a PB if she wants to beat someone like Christy Riley Crossley.
You're right, 106.78, Riley Crossley ahead of Bulcher and Beecroft. Riley Crossley qualifies quickest. Konkoly, Bulcher, Beecroft, Smith, two Chinese swimmers in Liu and Xu, and Canada in the final as well with Jib. 3 heats to come in the men's 100-meter backstroke S14. Ben Hance, the Australian, the world record holder with 56.88. He'll go in the third and final heat. And there is an Australian who goes in this first heat, Ricky Better. Man who picked up 200 IM bronze already in Paris. His first individual medal after relay silver in Tokyo.
The big question, I think, in this event is Bandera going to, one, qualify for finals? And if he does qualify, is he going to challenge for medals? We saw that huge upset for him in the 100 fly. Then he didn't make finals in his next event. So he seems to be a little bit off of his times here, but is certainly capable of medaling in this event.
So Bandera will go in heat 2. Going in lane, going in the first heat, Lautaro Maidana of Argentina, Ricky Better of Australia, Mark Tomset of Great Britain, Artur Xavier Ribeiro goes for Brazil in 5, and Vasil Krajnik goes for Ukraine in 6. That is Krajnik. There's Maidana of Argentina, Lautaro Maidana, Ribeiro of Brazil. Betar goes in 3, but that's Tomset. He's just 17, and he upset a few on his way to gold at the European Championships to the teenager. Really upset a few come finals time here. Maidana. This is the S14 classification for swimmers with intellectual impairment. 3 heats to come in the men's 100-meter backstroke S14. Maidana, Betar, Tomset, Xavier Ribeiro and Krajnik. Tomset, having won the European Championship, sub 60 seconds. He goes the favourite in this heat in lane 4. Betar got away well for Australia. Australians have such good starts and underwaters, and Betar comes out in front, but it's Ribeiro who's quickly up onto him, and indeed Tomset now who looks to come between the Australian and the Brazilian through the centre to lead, and through 25 metres is maybe a swim cap in front.
Right, it's that red cap from Great Britain that does seem to be leading. Now, because this class, it's a packed class. There's 3 heats during prelims, so the swimmers here need to be careful. You know, we talk sometimes about how you can go easy during prelims and kind of save your energy, but that's not the case for the S14s because it's such a stacked class that if you go too slow, you're in real danger of missing out on the final.
There are 17 competitors who go across the 3 heats, so 9 swimmers will miss out on the finals. Betar is looking to hold on to Tomset here. Ribeiro is falling back and maybe being caught by Kreinik as well. It's Maidana of Argentina 5th, but it's Tomset who's going to touch first. Sub 60 seconds, 59.19. A very solid time for Tomset. Outside 60 seconds is Betar. 1 minute, 0.51 seconds. That beats his seed time. Ribeiro with a 1:02, and that might not see him into the final.
No, I think to be comfortable, I think you want to go 1:01 here to get into the final. And see, here's the start. All the swimmers, nice arching of the back. Ricky Betar got out to a great start. The Australians, yeah, I agree. They know how to do a start. And then Mark Tomset, once he gets into his stroke, though, he started to lead and to pull away, and he went 59.19. So that's actually faster than his seed time. That was a very quick heat.
Tomset takes it ahead of Betar. Xavier Ribeiro, 1:02, but a sub 60-second swim for the 17-year-old from Great Britain to take heat 1. Second heat features 6 competitors: Bennett, Yamaguchi, Bandera, Helaus, Lee and Tang. Helaus already with gold at these championships. Bandera, somewhat surprisingly, not with gold, only bronze so far. And Nicholas Bennett can do no wrong, it seems. 3 events, 3 medals, silver in the 200 free and golds in the 100 breast and 200 IM. Not much of a backstroker. How will he fare? Bandera gets away really well alongside the Danish swimmer Helaus. Bronze of the last 2 World Championships for the Dane. And Bandera is leading the way in the early stages. And you're right, he has had a subpar performance throughout much of Paris 2024. Can he earn an element of redemption in the backstroke event? Yamaguchi is swimming well.
Yeah, and so watch out for Hillhouse, also having an unbelievable... Bennett and Hillhouse are the 2 swimmers I would watch during this heat. Both of them having phenomenal swims, although right now it does look to be more Hillhouse.
So Bandera being challenged by Hillhouse at the moment. Bennett has fallen away just a little. Not really much of a backstroker, but very much a swimmer having a fantastic time in Paris. Hillhouse is having a good time as well. He's going to pass Bandera in the closing 15 meters. Bandera might need to hang on as well because Lee In-Cook of Republic of Korea is coming back to the wall first. Hillhouse ahead of Bandera, ahead of Lee. Yamaguchi 4th, Tang 5th, and Bennett touches 6th. So a slower heat by some way. 1 minute, 0.47 seconds. That'll see Hillhouse qualify second fastest, though, for the final so far. There's Betar as well of Australia, 3rd quickest. With 1 heat to come.
Here's the start. Bandera had a super quick reaction time. He got off to a nice early lead, and then he just got chased down by the other swimmers. Hillhouse came on strong at the end. Lee came on strong at the end. So that heat was, as you said, it was a slower heat. 101.30 won it. Sorry, 1:00:47 won it, and then 1:01:30 was second from Bandera. And so he's going to cut it close to coming into finals.
Out in 29.48, home in 1 minute, 0.47 seconds. It's Hillas ahead of Bandera. Lee and Cook with a 1:02. I'll be watching the final. Only Tomstedt and Hillas guaranteed places in the final so far. 6 swimmers to come in the third and final heats. Malaysia's Mohammed Ridwan, Mark Evers of Netherlands, Ben Hans, the world record holder from Australia, William Allard, and Louis Lawler, both from Great Britain, go in 5 and 6, and Juan Garcia of Colombia in 7. Well, that's a really good start from Ellard and Lawler, but Hans' underwater is extraordinarily quick, and into his stroke, his favoured stroke, the defending champion, reigning world champion, world record holder Ben Hans. He'll be very tough to catch, despite the excellence of Ellard so far at Paris 2024. The London gold medalist Mark Evers of Netherlands in lane 2, a little way off the pace at the moment.
And look at that lead from Ben Hans, already out. He's out so quick, 27.21. You wonder if he's trying to challenge that world record. It's set from Australia, Brisbane, Australia, from December 2021. Look, he's 2 body lengths ahead, and this is a fast heat.
This is a very fast heat from Ben Hans, the world record holder, out in a very quick time, 27 seconds at the 50. How quickly will he come home? Ben Hans is well ahead of his own world record here. The 2-time and reigning world champion, the defending champion from Tokyo in the heats, is going to smash his world record, 56.52. He takes it ahead of Lawler, who touches ahead of Ellard. Evers is 4th, the London champion, but at 56.52. Oh, yes. That is a big world record for Ben Hans, and a marker laid down for anybody else in this final to come. Can you catch me? Wow.
I know. I mean, he went out fast.
You knew something was on when he touched in 27.21.
Yeah, I mean, just look at his start. It's a perfectly arched back. He gets into his underwater. He pops up ahead. He's a body, probably 2 body lengths ahead of everyone else at the turn. Here's the underwater. He stays on his back as much as he can. He pops up, and he continues to just power through ahead. 56.52. That means he took off more than 3/10 off of his prior world record set from December 2021. So that was a long time coming for him.
And bear in mind, over the last 18 months, he's not gone sub 57 seconds. So to come close to 56.52 in the heats
during prelims, right?
Yeah, is not only impressive, it's virtually unparalleled. The time, though, is unparalleled. Ben Hans of Australia, the defending champion, has smashed his own world record in the heats. Yes, he is the quickest qualifier by some way, 56.52. There are only 2 swimmers across the heats who went sub 60 seconds. Hans going sub world record pace. 56.52, he'll have lane 4. Tomstedt will swim in lane 5 for the final. 3 from Great Britain and 2 from Australia in the final. Hillas of Denmark might upset a few. 2 heats to come in the women's 100-meter backstroke S14. Bethany Firth, the world record holder, 1:04.05, having set that time on her way to gold at Rio 2016. Serizawa, Van Dijk, Chan, Newman Baronius, Neve, Suarez de Oliveira and Kajon Mata of Thailand. The first heat of 2. 7 swimmers will miss out across the 2 heats. There are 15 who go between heats 1 and 2. Watch out for Newman Baronius, who'll go in lane 4, though. The 17-year-old already with a very impressive relay leg to help Great Britain to gold. is Ana Carolina Soares de Oliveira of Brazil. Megan Neve, who goes in lane 5 for Great Britain. Van Dijk of Canada, she swam at the Pan American Games. Didn't have the best of times, but this was her only event in which she medaled at the Pan American Games, finishing in bronze medal position. There's Newman Baronius, 17-year-old, having a fantastic time of it in Paris with that relay gold, already in some very impressive swims. Neve of Great Britain goes alongside her. Chan of Hong Kong, China goes in 3. Cerizar, Van Dijk, Chan, Newman Baronius, Neve, Soares de Oliveira, and Kajun Mata of Thailand, who goes in 7. So getting away in the women's 100-meter backstroke S14, 2 lengths of the pool in backstroke. It's a great underwater from Chan Yu Lam of Hong Kong, China. Looking a little way back at the moment is the Pan American Games bronze medalist of Canada, Van Dijk. Newman Baronius looks solid once she's into her stroke, so to Neve alongside her, but Chan is holding on just behind Newman Baronius, coming up to the wall at 50.
Chan had the better start. She used her underwater a little bit better than Newman Baronius, but once they get into the stroke, Newman Baronius has that more efficient, sleeker stroke. Chan, she bops around a little bit, and Newman Baronius now comfortably, well, not comfortably, she's a little bit ahead of the others. Chan, she's quick, and then also Megan Neve from Great Britain trying to charge.
Van Dijk is coming back of Canada. She's just ahead of Soares de Oliveira now, but it is Newman Baronius and Neve who are just ahead of Chan. Ana Carolina Soares de Oliveira has traditionally got a strong finish. It's going to be Neve of Great Britain who will come to the wall first, ahead of Newman Baronius, and Soares de Oliveira touches just behind Chan. Van Dijk 5th. Mata of Thailand touches 6th, and Serizawa of Japan, one of 3 Japanese swimmers across the heats, touches 7th in 1:16. But 1:10s behind Neve's 1:09.74.
And that wasn't a particularly quick first heat. Chan got out to that nice start. Newman Baronius just came up after her. Newman Baronius flipped first at the 50, but then Megan Neve came back hard during the second lap. She went 1:09.74. Newman Baronius 1:10.47, and then Chan with 1:10 high. They should all qualify for finals, but I think the second heat here is going to be faster, especially when you have someone like Poppy Maskell, who's been having like the meat of her life here.
Yeah, Megan Neve, who shot to prominence at the World Series event in Aberdeen in Scotland earlier this year when she won gold, upset a few. Takes heat 1. Going in heat 2, France have a competitor in Asia Morin Espio, who goes in 3. Fukui and Kinoshita of Japan go in 1 and 2. Poppy Maskell of Great Britain goes in lane 4. Valeria Shawalina, the European champion and Tokyo silver medalist, goes in 5. Madeleine McTurnan of Australia in 6. Sidley Salinas of Mexico in 7. And Kang Jung-eun of Korea Republic goes in lane 8. Maskell, silver at the last 2 World Championships, but 2 gold and 2 silvers from 4 events so far in Paris.
Your marks.
And then there's Shawalina, 2-time World Championship silver medalist in this event and the European champion. Maskell comes up in front, following her underwater. But Shawalina is quick once she's into her stroke. The Tokyo silver medalist who's gone 1:07 this year. Maskell, though, is a 1:04 swimmer. at her best and not too far off Bethany Firth's world record mark. Shabalina is holding on to Maskell as they come up towards the wall at 50.
Yeah, whenever Shabalina is in the water, she is dangerous. You should never discount a swimmer like her. She's got a phenomenal back half. We also know she's such a good flyer. That means she's got endurance. But here is Poppy Maskell looking very strong out ahead. Now extending that lead to almost a body length ahead of Shabalina.
Well, this is by far the quicker heat. Poppy Maskell leading the way and extending that advantage over Shabalina, almost a body length. You're right. McTurnan is coming back at Kinoshta. Maureen Espiau of France looking to hold on. McTurnan is finishing strongest for Australia and should be third quickest. But Maskell is taking this to the wall and looks to qualify quickest. She does so. 107.51. She'll have lane 4 for the final. Shabalina touches now in 108.99. She'll qualify second quickest for the final. McTurnan also sub 110 in 109.99. But 107.51 wins it for Maskell of Great Britain.
Here's this second heat. We mentioned it was quicker than the first one. Poppy Maskell went out to that early lead, but Shabalina, there she is. She pops up actually first coming out. And then Shabalina's turns are so strong, but Poppy Maskell actually goes a little bit deeper than she does. Shabalina, you can never discount in a final. She's such an experienced swimmer, but Poppy Maskell has been swimming very strong. She's capable of going 104 high. So probably the only swimmer in this event that could challenge Bethany Firth's world record from Rio.
Maskell takes it ahead of Shabalina, ahead of McTurnan. Kinoshta with a 111.09. She'll be into the final. Maskell, Neve and Newman Baronius, 3 from Great Britain. McTurnan makes it for Australia. Shabalina's there. Chan, Kinoshta and Ana Carolina Schwarz de Oliveira makes it for Brazil. 2 heats to come in the men's 50-meter freestyle S3. Wang Wenpan, 38.81. World record in Mexico City in 2017. Paralympic Games record at 39.24. S2 swimmer Gabriel Zinho, Gabriel Dos Santos Arrojo will go in lane 2 in this S3 race. So swimming a class up. He won Parapan American Games gold, did Gabriel Zinho. 5th. Swimming a class up in one of his 5 events so far in Paris, with 5 times a Paralympic Games champion. Ioannis Koustakis goes for Greece, though, in lane 1. Diego Lopez of Mexico goes in 3. Sergei Palamarchuk is a 44-second swimmer. He goes in lane 4. Daniel Ferrer of Spain. Krzysztof Lechniak of Poland, and Italy's Emanuele Marigliano goes in 7 in this first heat. There's the flag of Greece. 52-year-old Ioannis Koustakis is being well supported. 52-year-old has been swimming for the longest time. There he is, man from Athens, man who served as General Secretary of the Hellenic Paralympic Association, also worked for the Greek Ministry of Culture and Sports. Gabriel Zinho makes his way out as well, going a class up. Diego Lopez, Sergei Palamarchuk, Ferrer of Spain, Poland's Lechniak and Marigliano of Italy. Last to make his way onto the pool deck. Now, while this is very much about the S3 swimmers, that man, Arrojo, Gabriel Zinho, is only just off Zhou Liankang's world record set in Rio in the S2 classification for the men's 50-meter freestyle. Swimming a class up, he's not going to be challenging for medals come final time. That's even if he makes the finals, Gabriel Zinho. But he's got an opportunity to break the world record in his classification S2, and that is significant.
It is, and so the way it works when the classes are swimming together is medals are awarded based on the fastest time, but a swimmer in a lower class still has the opportunity to set a record.
So Gabriel Araujo will go into Kostakis of Greece going in 1. Palamarchuk though, sub 45 seconds. Diego Lopez is 45-second swimmer. So too is Ferrer of Spain, the 22-year-old who's having a fine debut. World Championship silver medalist Ferrer in Manchester last year. There is Palamarchuk in the white cap. Lechniak makes his way from the side of the pool to his lane, lane 6. 7 competitors ago in the first heat of the men's 50-meter freestyle S3. The S2 swimmer, the only one who starts off the blocks. Araujo gets off the blocks really quickly and might have a little advantage over the other swimmers through his start and underwater, but very quickly into his stroke. Ferrer looks exceptionally strong, ahead of Palamarchuk at the moment. And watch the clock for Gabriel Zinho going into Lopez alongside him of Mexico. Is looking to pass him now, and the S3 swimmers coming to their own. Ferrer, Palamarchuk and Lopez.
And all these swimmers, other than Araujo, are S3 swimmers, so all using their upper bodies to power through the water. And right now, it does look like the Ukrainian has about a body length lead over everyone else and should come to the wall first.
4-time Paralympic Games bronze medalist. This is an event in which he's looking to change his bronze medal successes. So 45.59, it's a quick time ahead of Lopez Diaz and Ferrer. Coming to the wall now is Gabriel Zinho at 52.94, so he's outside his best and he's outside world record time. Kostakis to the wall now in 102.32. So Palamarchuk, 45.59. Diego Lopez of Mexico, second, some 2 seconds back, and then Ferrer of 49.15.
And here's the start. You can see Araujo is the only swimmer that starts from the blocks. The other swimmers, they're entirely on their upper bodies, and they're just using their strokes to power through. They quickly pass Araujo, who's got that dolphin kick, and then the Ukrainian, about 25 meters through, that's where he starts to just take it. And he finished a ways ahead of everyone else in a 45.59, which was a good swim for him.
Palamarchuk ahead of Diego Lopez. Ferrer of Spain, sub 50 seconds as well. Second heat of the men's 50 freestyle S3. All S3 swimmers in this one. Kosui, Zarate, Unlu, Top, Ostapchenko, Boni and Kelly of Australia. But across the two heats, what you've got is 4 44-second swimmers. Here's one of them, Josea Topf of Germany. 5th in Tokyo, but my word, has he had a breakout time in Paris.
Yeah, and he's been swimming best times, and he has had a very strong meet. So to catch someone like Top, the other swimmers are going to have to be on their times.
We saw for a moment there Ostapchenko, the reigning world champion, but only 4th at the European Championships. Kelly makes his way toward the blocks. There is Vincenzo Boni, finalist in both Rio and Tokyo, now 36, 2-time World Championships bronze medalist. Topf and Kosri start from the blocks. The Thai swimmer in one. 150 IM gold here already for the German. 4 golds for Germany in the pool at Paris 2024 so far.
Take your mark.
So Kelly, Top and Kausri start from the blocks and look for an advantage with their underwaters. Top using quite a few of the 15 meters available to him. Unlu's going nicely for Turkey in lane 3, but it's Top will come into his own. Unlu, though, really powering through the opening 25.
Yeah, Unlu looks to be just ahead. Top has a great underwater, but Unlu actually is ahead of Top now by a lot.
Ostapchenko is making up a little bit of ground on Top as well. And so too Zarate coming back, but Umut Unlu of Turkey is powering through the water in the second heat in the men's 50-meter freestyle S3. He's going to romp to victory in 44.90. That's a PB. Ostapchenko comes to the wall, second ahead of Top. Unlu goes 44.90. Kausri comes to the wall now and touches in 57.89 for Thailand. But my word, Top faded. Unlu just powered his way past Top. Sub 45 seconds. Quickest qualifier is Umut Unlu of Turkey.
So here's the start. You see Top dive in. Unlu quickly gets into his stroke. Unlu goes right past Top. You see he's on his arms right there. Zooms past Top, goes 44.9. And then after that, Ostapchenko went past Top too to go 46.55. So a surprising swim from Top.
Surprising swim from a few in the field. It was surprisingly good from Unlu. Only 6th at the European Championships. But wow, 45 seconds mark been breached. 44.90. Unlu takes heat 2. He qualifies quickest ahead of 2 Ukrainians in Palamarchuk and Ostapchenko. 2 Mexicans in the final as well. Top, Ferrer and Boni also make it through. 2 heats to come in the men's 50-meter freestyle S4. Ami Omurdadon, the world record holder, 36.25. He's the defending champion. And he set the Paralympic Games record in Tokyo, 37.21. Ernhoff Malia, Ariel Malia, I should say. His brother Mark will be swimming still as well. Cameron Leslie, Sebastian Masabi, Cristiani of Italy and Ranjou of France go in this first heat of 2. So Ranjou, the celebrated teenager from France, will go in 7. There is Cameron Leslie, genuine great, now 34, 2019 world champion. Won silvers at both the last 2 world championships, did Leslie. New Zealand flag bearer at the opening ceremony for Paris 2024. 3 times a Paralympic Games champion. Malia, 7th in Tokyo, 5th at the last World Championships, but silver at the European Championships for Ariel Malia. Cameron Leslie, having made his name as an IM swimmer largely, he's a phenomenal freestyler. But it's IM where he's gained his greatest successes at the Paralympic Games, 3 times the IM champion. And he's also represented New Zealand in wheelchair rugby. Multi-sport success story is Cameron Leslie. Bernhofer and Cristiani start in the water. Leslie gets away well. Ranjou gets away very well for France, going in 7. Into his stroke, though, and Masabi is looking really quick. The 19-year-old from Canada who made the 100 and 200 free finals here in Paris already, and he's leading the way from Leslie. Malia making up a little bit of ground on Leslie as it stands, but these three are pulling away. The Canadian, with the use of his right arm and right leg, he's powering his way into a position in front with 15 meters to go. Cameron Leslie's coming back at him. Ariel Malia can't quite match the pace, but it's the teenager from Canada who is going to take heat one, and it's going to be in a pretty quick time as well, well off his seed time. In Paralympic Games record 36.95. Masabi of Canada takes it ahead of Leslie, with Christiani finishing quickest to touch ahead of Malia at the wall at 50. Wow, 36.95. Paralympic Games record. Maybe Dadaon is going to have somebody challenging him for
yeah, that would be a great race.
For the final. Paralympic Games record 36.95, sub 36 seconds. He's a 38-second swimmer, and he's gone sub 37.
That was a massive PB by Masabi, the Canadian swimmer. You see, he struggles a little bit off the block, but he powers through with that right arm. And what he has to do is keep that stroke rate up, because he only has the use of that one limb. And he did that here to go a new Paralympic record, touch the wall first, way ahead of everyone else. Cameron Leslie went a decent 37.70, so just off of his seat time there, which was still a quick time.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, Cameron Leslie 37.7 is not slow particularly in the preliminaries. So the men's 50-meter freestyle S4, Masabi going for it in the heats. He's got the Paralympic Games record, and maybe there's more to come from the youngster come final time. What a swim. Masabi, a Paralympic Games record time, 36.95, a big PB. Cameron Leslie's second, sub 40 seconds, 37.70. Six competitors who go in the second of the heats: Zhdanov, Camacho, Dadaon, Suzuki, Beggiato, and Smetana. Is this the last time we see the great French swimmer David Smetana in the pool?
He's a legend.
He is an absolute legend, is Smetana. That's Suzuki, who goes in lane 5 alongside Dadaon, who is the quickest in the world this year and the world record holder.
Oh, Smetana.
David Smetana going in lane 7 is receiving the adulation of those in attendance. With the times he's been swimming, he's not likely to qualify for the final. But the 49-year-old who won gold in Beijing, who won silver in London, who won Athens bronze as well. 2010, he was the world champion. This is the end of an extraordinary career. If he can swim times he was swimming a decade ago, he'll be into the final. But that is a big ask for 49-year-old Smetana, who's set to retire after Paris 2024. He's been swimming competitively since 1996. A man from Grenoble. Camacho and Suzuki start off the blocks and will have a little advantage, but straight into his stroke. And Dadaon, the defending champion of Israel, is going really well in lane 4. Camacho has got some serious pace and having a good time in Paris, and so too Suzuki, who is battling Dadaon, who's got full use of both his arms.
And Dadaon is capable of going sub 36.95, which is the Paralympic record, but does seem to be off of that a little bit, and Suzuki is beating Dadaon right now.
Dadaon's got the reach advantage and look to touch first, but Suzuki is just at the wall ahead of Dadaon in 37.49, beats 37.61, a 38.36 for Camacho, who touches third, Beggiato fourth, and Smetana fifth. Suzuki, what a swim.
Yes.
Off the blocks, got
Yes.
a little advantage, but Dadon could just not catch him.
No. There's Suzuki. He goes in, and Dadon normally powers past Suzuki, but he wasn't able to shake him during this 50. It's only a 50, so if Suzuki has just a little bit of an advantage off the start, that is hopeful because it's just one lap of the pool. And Dadon, he's got the reach over Suzuki, and normally he can out-touch him, but here Suzuki just slid in ahead of him. He went 37.49, so not as quick as the Canadian from Heat 1 with that 36.95, but the race between Masabi, Dadon, and Suki should be tight in finals.
Oh, don't forget Cameron Leslie, Angel Camacho as well. There's plenty of contenders come final time. Suzuki ahead of Dadon in the second heat. Smetanin finishes though with a 42.97. He does not qualify for the final, and that's the end of a stellar career for the great French swimmer, a 9-time Paralympic medalist. But to the heats of the women's 50-meter freestyle S4 we go. 2 heats to come. Tony Schultz, the world record holder, 36.92. Rachel Watson's Paralympic Games record stands from a gold medal winning performance in Tokyo. She's an S3 swimmer and will go in the second heat. All S4 swimmers who go in the first heat: Stamatopoulou, Butkova, Vieira da Cruz, Pereira dos Santos and Gabardolina. The crowd are wishing David Smetanin the very best. We say goodbye to the great French star. Twice a champion, twice a bronze medalist, 5-time silver medalist at the Paralympic Games. Grand ambassador for Parasport in France. In the 50-meter free, he says goodbye after a stellar career. Now to the women's 50-meter freestyle S4. Stamatopoulou of Greece, the 38-year-old, makes her way out first ahead of Butkova, ahead of Vieira da Cruz, Pereira, and then Zulfia Gabardolina, 4th in Rio, competing a class up. The 58-year-old maybe seeking another final at the Paralympic Games in a final event at Paris 2024. Vice President of the Kazakhstan Paralympic Committee. Two Brazilians, though, will be tough to catch. Gabardolina, the oldest swimmer at Paris 2024. There's Lidia Vieira da Cruz. She won the gold at the Pan American Games by a fairly comfortable margin. She's comfortably sub 40 seconds as well. Take a little off her time and maybe the Paralympic Games record to go. Stamatopoulou, Butkova, Vieira da Cruz, Pereira dos Santos and Gabardolina go in the first heat of 2 in the women's 50-meter freestyle S4. Stamatopoulou, former World Championship silver medalist. She was 4th at the European Championships. Da Cruz of Brazil in the center lane.
Take your marks.
And she'll get off to a traditionally good start. Lidia Vieira da Cruz, the Pan American Games gold medalist. She likes to hit the front very quickly in her races and tries to stay there. Pereira dos Santos will be aiming to catch her. At the moment, though, Gabardolina and Butkova are next, with Stamatopoulou a little further behind. But Vieira da Cruz, through 25 meters, is over a body length in front.
She is, and you talked about how she likes to go out quick and hang on, but she doesn't appear to be fading at all. You know, she held that pink band to start, used it, got off the blocks, now out ahead. She's gonna have a good swim.
In Paralympic Games record time, Lidia Vieira da Cruz hits the wall in 38.61, ahead of Patricia Pereira. Gabrielina touches third in 42.85 and may well qualify for the final. Indeed, that'll get her in, but it's a Paralympic Games record for Lidia Vieira da Cruz as she breaks Rachel Watson's mark set in Tokyo. A 38.61.
You forgot to mention that Lidia Vieira da Cruz is always smiling.
I did forget to mention that, that's right.
And when she finished that time, she was smiling again. Here she is off the start. She's that pink band, she gets off. She went out into an early lead. You see, she can't extend her fingers there, so she swims a sort of clamped fist, but that's okay because she has such a quick turnover. And there's that smile with a 38.61, so a massive PB for her.
Well, she's got 2 bronzes in Paris so far at her debut games. Might she be earning silver or even gold in this final? Paralympic Games record for Lidia Vieira da Cruz as she takes heat 1. Five competitors who go at heat 2. Among them, 2 S3 competitors, Leanne Smith of USA and Rachel Watson of Australia. Class down from an S4. She swims in lane 5. Tanja Schultz of Germany goes, though, in lane 4 as the 2-time reigning world champion. There is Smith, the 2022 S3 world champion. Nelly Miranda going strong. She was champion in Beijing in 2008. Took bronze as well in Rio, did Nelly Miranda, who goes for Mexico in 3. Watson goes for Australia, the defending champion. She won gold in both Rio and Tokyo. Subsequently classed down to an S3. There's Tanja Schultz, the 40-year-old. Works for an organization that supports people with impairment. But since getting into para swimming since 2022, she's already broken the world record in this event. In fact, she broke it within a year of becoming a para swimmer, and is now the 2-time and reigning world champion and world record holder. The 40-year-old goes for Germany in 4. Peng Chuping goes for China in 6.
Take your marks.
So getting away in the women's 50-meter freestyle S4. Schultz in Germany goes in the center lane. Leanne Smith gets off to a good start. Miranda, a measured start. Rachel Watson is a little behind Schultz at the moment. And very quick stroke rates as you would expect in a 50-meter freestyle. But Smith is holding an advantage here, the S3 swimmer.
Right, and remember that final anchor leg of the relay where Leanne Smith, she got passed by the Chinese, but was able to hold off the Ukrainian. But watch out for Schultz now with this closing speed, and Watson also right with her.
So Smith is fading a little, Schultz and Watson, but Smith is going to hold on here and touch it 40.72 seconds. Smith takes it. She's just outside the world record mark in the S3 classification. That is a fast time, 40.99 for Schultz of Germany, who is second, and Watson, the defending champion, 41.34. And none of the swimmers nearly as quick as Lidia Vieira da Cruz's 38.61, Paralympic Games record. But how about that for S3 swimmer Leanne Smith?
So all of these swimmers start in the water. They have a variety of different methods. Leanne Smith went out for that early lead and just held on as Schultz came back at her. Rachel Watson also closing quickly. So Leanne Smith just touching first in a 40.72. Schultz second, 40.99. But you're right, nobody even close to Lidia da Cruz's Paralympic record.
So 2 S3 swimmers will be into the final. Watson and Smith. Schultz in 40.99, Peng 42.67, and Nelly Miranda touches 5th. What that means, though, is that Nelly Miranda, despite finishing 5th in her heat, is into the final. Zulfia Gabardolina is in at the age of 58, but what a tight final we have in store. 2 heats to come in the men's 100-meter butterfly S11. Danilo Chufarov, just outside 60 seconds, the world record holder in the mid of Spain. The Paralympic Games record holder from Beijing. Fellow Spaniard Jose Ramon Cantero goes in 2, Mikhailo Serbin goes in 3, Kimura Keiichi of Japan, the Tokyo gold medalist, goes in 4, Rogier Dorsman of Netherlands, who was 4th in Tokyo, goes in 5, and Yang Bozun goes for China in lane 6. 2 lengths of the pool in the fly. So this is for swimmers with the most severe visual impairment. All the swimmers will swim without sight as they swim with blackened out goggles in the race. They all use tappers on either side of the pool, both at the turn and at the finish. As they are unsighted, tappers just indicate when the wall is getting closer, allows for greater accuracy in the turn and to be safer at the finish. There is Cantero of Spain. Japan's Kimura Keiichi. He won bronze in London. He won silver in Rio. He won gold in Tokyo. He's going to be one to challenge undoubtedly, and he's still a 101 swimmer over this distance, within a second of the world record. There's Dorsman, who goes in 5, the European champion. Kimura goes in 3. Serbin is having an erratic competition at Paris 2024, you might argue, but smashed the world record on his way to backstroke gold here. But a little off some of his other events. Yang Bozun, 5-time Paralympic Games champion, 17-time medalist, but this is the one event at the Paralympic Games in which he has never medaled. It's an excellent start from Cantero of Spain. Dorsman gets away well in lane 5. Kimura, though, into his stroke really quickly and is just in front of Dorsman at the moment. These two should be pulling away, given their seed times. 101 for Kimura, 103 for Dorsman.
So Kimura out that early lead, but he's swimming not as straight as Dorsman, so that's going to cost him. Dorsman looks very strong and powerful. Here they are coming into the first 50. Good turn from Kimura. Same for Dorsman. Serbin has totally faded to the back here. He is not consistent at all. I mean, he had that amazing 100 backstroke final, but not as close on the other events. And Dorsman, even though he started off to a rough start, has been coming back, but now it's just Kimura.
Dorsman just hitting the lane rope on the right and disrupting his stroke slightly, but Kimura is going to come home in around about 60 seconds. It should be a 101 swim. It is a 101.48 for Kimura, just about on his seed time as Dorsman comes to the wall. Now, the battle for third, an intriguing one. Cantero just ahead of Serbin, 111.55. But Kimura, 101.48. Young touches now in 116. Kimura, 101. Also had a little trouble with the lane rope coming home. But didn't disrupt his very solid time overall. A 101 is quick in the 100 fly S11 preliminaries.
So here's Dorsman right next to Kimura on the start. And you can see both of these swimmers fairly straight, but they struggled a little bit coming into the lane ropes, which, you know, when you're building up speed and you're going strong and you tangle with the lane line, that does add time. And here's Kimura. He touched in a 101.48, which is a super quick time for him. It's only about 2/10 off of his sea time. Dorsman, though, did not have a great swim.
And it's only 3/10 off the Paralympic Games record. He's 0.8 of a second off the world record. Goggle checks for the swimmers as they exit the pool before the official results can be confirmed. Kimura with a confident victory, and by a sizable margin as well. By nearly 5.5 seconds he's taken the first heat. confirming the results. Kimura ahead of Dorsman by 5.5 seconds effectively. Jose Ramon Cantero third, 1:11, 1:12. Serbin might have a nervous wait as the second heat takes place. The second heat features 5 competitors. Guadaldong, David Kratochvil, Danilo Chufarov, Tomita Uchu and Wendell Bellarmino Pereira of Brazil. Already a silver at these games for Wendell Bellarmino Pereira, the Pan American Games champion.
Take your mark.
Chufarov and Kratochvil got away nicely. Chufarov, the 35-year-old, going in lane 4. He's the quickest in the world this year. With that world record in Manchester last year as well, standing as the best ever over this distance.
But Kratochvil also looks strong. Kratochvil has been one of the breakout stars of this classification and even of these games. He had that remarkable 400 freestyle. Ooh, Kratochvil did not have a good turn right there. He kind of paused. So he lost a lot of ground, and Tomita taking it out hard.
Tomita is having an excellent swim. He was silver medalist in Tokyo, the 35-year-old, 3 times a world championship medalist. He did win silver at the Asian Para Games, though. But Tomita is ahead of the world record holder. So too Hua Dongdong and David Kratochvil having a good battle, and Bellarmino is coming back brilliantly, the Pan American Games champion. It'll be Tomita of Japan to touch in 1:04.47. Second is Kratochvil, only just from Bellarmino Pereira. And Chufarov, the world record holder, touches 4th. So 1:04, that's a significantly slower heat. Kimura having won the first in 1:01.
So this was a surprisingly slow swim for Chufarov. Tomita was first at the wall with Chufarov. Chufarov struggled in this first turn, then Tomita well ahead by the time they turn into second. So Tomita comfortably wins this in 1:04.4, but Chufarov with a 1:06, so about 6 seconds off of his world record, which is from only August 2023. So if he wants to win tonight, he's going to have to really pick up the pace.
Well, Japan will have a great opportunity to go 1-2, as they did in Tokyo, with Kimura and Tomita swimming in the finals. They will have the center lanes, the 2 Japanese swimmers. We wait for the official results, though. So while it's the slower heats, it's the fastest in terms of the lower placings, which means all 5 of these swimmers will qualify for the final. As Tomita takes heat 2. And that means Serbin and Young miss out on the final. Cantero is in for Spain, but 2 from Japan in the center lanes. Dorsman has his work cut out for him in that final. Two heats to come in the men's 100-meter freestyle S8. Denis Tarasov, the world record holder at 55.84. Wang Yinan, the Paralympic Games record that stood for a dozen years, since London. It was set 12 years ago to the day. Matthew Torres, Noah Jaffe, 2 Americans, 2 from China as well. Wu Hongliang and Liu Fengqi. Alberto Amadeo, he won his favorite event, the 400-meter freestyle, here already. Not particularly known for his sprint events, but will go in good form in this heat in lane 5 alongside Noah Jaffe, the reigning world champion. Poland's Michał Golis goes in 8. There's Matt Torres of USA. China have two competitors in Liu Fengqi, who is in your screen, and Wu Hongliang. And is Gabriel da Silva de Souza, 29-year-old. Bronze at the World Championships in 2022 and 2023. Jaffe is the world champion and goes in 4. And Amodeo, 400-meter freestyle gold in Paris. Good form, and I think what really surprised about that win for Amodeo in the 400 free was just how well he closed, because traditionally he doesn't have the closing speed of some of the others, but was able to close relatively quickly.
Yeah, especially after Maxwell and Jaffe had that fast first 200, and Amodeo hung on.
You are Mark.
Great start from de Souza of Brazil. Into the water he goes. Somebody who's taken a break from his studies to compete at Paris 2024. The silver medalist at the Pan American Games. Liu Fengqi's off to a pretty good start as well, going in lane 7. But Jaffe will come into his own and already up on de Souza.
Yep, and Jaffe is swimming remarkably well. Matthew Torres, also from the United States. He was off the medal stand in his favorite event, the 400 freestyle, maybe looking for something here in the 100, but Noah Jaffe out to that early start. Amodeo trying to make up some ground in the second 50.
Yeah, Amodeo touching third at the wall. He was not too far off, but Amodeo at the moment is a little way behind Wu and de Souza. Amodeo, can he close quicker in the final 15 meters? Jaffe is still leading the way as they come up towards the wall. Not much separating the swimmers, but Amodeo is showing some closing speed here. Jaffe's going to get to the wall first, just ahead of Amodeo, with Nikolaev finishing ahead of Liu and Wu. So sub 60 seconds for the top 3. 58.94 wins it for Jaffe.
This is the 100-meter freestyle. It's a sprint, just 2 laps of the pool in freestyle, but that means that the start matters. Amodeo does not have as strong of a start as the other swimmers too. Noah Jaffe from the United States, Silva from Brazil, also great start. So Jaffe went 58.94, just a little bit off of his sea time, but Amodeo actually just had a tremendous swim in there with a 59.17, and Nikolaev brought it back 59.63.
So Jaffe takes it ahead of Amodeo, ahead of Nikolaev. The top 3 all sub 60 seconds in the pool. 1 minute for the 2 Chinese swimmers who are 4th and 5th. There are 8 swimmers who go in the second heat of the men's 100 freestyle S8, including Xu Haijiao. He was 4th in Tokyo, but he won gold very confidently at the Asian Para Games. And he won gold in Paris in the 200 IM. That's Jopis who goes in 1 for Spain. Yaraman goes for Turkey in 2. Mark Maljer, brother of Ariel, goes in lane 3. Ariel, the S4 swimmer. S8 swimmer is Mark. Callum Simpson goes for Australia in 4. Michalinzakis gets away for Greece nicely in lane 6, the Tokyo bronze medalist. What has he got in this heat? Reed Maxwell as well, going nicely for Canada in his Paralympic Games debut. Ogiwara of Japan in the pool in lane 8. But going well is Callum Simpson. Mark Maljer just a little way behind him at the moment. Xu Haijiao and Michalinzakis keeping the pace.
So this is the 100 free, just 2 laps of the pool. Callum Simpson turns first, Michalinzakis and Mark Maljer are all super close out in front, but the question is, can Xu Haijiao last? He's only got the use of that 1 limb, but he's kicking really hard, and Caleb Simpson out quicker. He's almost half a body length ahead of everyone else.
Yeah, Xu Haijiao, the 2017 world champion, won silver in Manchester last year at the World Championships behind Noah Jaffe. Caleb Simpson, though, the 17-year-old, already with relay gold for Australia here in Paris, is going to come to the wall first ahead of Michalinzakis. It's going to be Simpson, Michalinzakis and Xu who touch 1, 2, 3. Maljer, Yaraman, and then Maxwell of Canada. And in the wider lanes, Jopis and Ogiwara touch 7th and 8th. So the top three sub 60 seconds, as was the case in the first heat, but Callum Simpson in 58.49 will qualify quickest for the final.
And he'll qualify quickest by about half a second. That was a big swim from Callum Simpson in that second heat, clearly trying to send a message to heat one. Shuhai Zhao went out. He's got a good dive, he's got good underwaters, but he can't quite hold on next to someone like Callum Simpson. And Mikolantzakis also went out hard and was able to hold on here. So the battle between Noah Jaffe, Amodeo, Nikolaev, Simpson, Shu, and Mikolantzakis should be good for finals.
So let's confirm the results then in the men's 100-meter freestyle S8 second heat. Simpson ahead of Mikolantzakis, Shu Haijiao third ahead of Mark Mallier. What that means, though, in terms of qualification, I don't think Mallier is in. The top six are sub 60 seconds. Mallier is not in. Mikolantzakis is into the final. So too Callum Simpson, Noah Jaffe, and Alberto Amodeo, who qualifies the three quickest. Well, that then the end of a session in which we saw a world record courtesy of Ben Hans in the 100-meter backstroke S14. Held nothing back, but a couple of Paralympic records as well. What stood out for you?
Oh, wow. The Ben Hans world record, that was quick in that 100-meter backstroke. I don't even think he was expecting it. I love watching the men's 100-meter freestyle S8. I still think that's going to be a major battle. Also, I can't wait to see in the men's 50 fly S5, is China going to get yet another shutout of the podium? That should be good.
And can Sebastian Masabi upset all comers in the men's 50 freestyle S4? He set the Paralympic Games record in the heats. Plenty of action still to come in the final session on day 9 of the Paris swimming competition at Paris 2024. But what a session this has been. We're into day 9 of the Paris swimming competition of Paris 2024. Great Britain still top the medal standings through 8 days of competition with 16 golds and 26 medals. People's Republic of China, they've closed the gap through 8 days. They have 15 golds in their total of 38. The likes of USA, Ukraine, Italy as well inside the top 5. There are 15 gold medal events to be contested in the final session on day 9 in the Paris swimming of Paris 2024. We certainly hope you can join us for then. Paralympic Games records, world records, we've seen them all in the pool. Plenty continental records, PBs as well. But for now, as the crowds file their way out of La Défense Arena, it is time for us to say goodbye as well. That concludes the preliminary session on day 9 of the Paris swimming competition of Paris 2024. We absolutely look forward to your company for what should be exhilarating action in the final session on day 9. So from the Paris La Défense Arena, it's time to say goodbye.